July 1954. Haneda Airport, Tokyo. A routine day for customs officials, until a man in a business suit presents a passport that shouldn't exist. He claims to be from a country called Taured, but when he's asked to point it out on a map, he points to the border of France and Spain, to a place known to us only as Andorra. He is confused, he is angry, and by the next morning, he will have vanished from a locked room on the 6th floor. The man standing before the customs officers didn't look like a phantom or a spy. He was Caucasian, neatly bearded, and dressed with the quiet wealth of a successful businessman. His native tongue was French, flowing with a natural ease, but to the surprise of the officials, he also spoke flawless Japanese. He wasn't a first-time visitor, or at least so his passport claimed. The dark green booklet from Taured was filled with authentic-looking visa stamps from previous trips to Tokyo, spanning several years. His wallet held thick stacks of legal tender from various European nations. Everything pointed to a man who traveled the globe frequently. But when investigators tried to verify his story, the illusion shattered. The international company he claimed to work for? There was no record of it. The hotel where he had supposedly booked a room? They had never heard his name. Even the bank listed on his pristine checkbook simply did not exist. The authorities were completely baffled. He wasn't carrying weapons or contraband, but his very existence was a geographical impossibility. To buy time, officials relocated him to a nearby hotel for the night, placing him in a room high above the Tokyo streets. To ensure he wouldn't slip away into the city, 2 armed guards were stationed directly outside his door. He was trapped, a man from nowhere, locked in a room he could never leave. The room was a fortress on the 6th floor. There was no balcony. The windows were sealed shut, offering a dizzying drop to the pavement below. With 2 armed guards stationed in the only hallway, escape was not just unlikely. It was physically impossible. But when the sun rose and customs officials returned to interrogate their mystery guest, they found a waking nightmare. The guards unlocked the door. They stepped inside. But the room was completely, utterly empty. The bed hadn't even been slept in. Panic set in. Tokyo police locked down the perimeter, assuming he had somehow slipped past the guards. But the impossible had only just begun. Back at the airport, officials opened the high-security locker, holding his personal belongings. His clothes, his European currency, and the dark green passport from Taured were all gone. There was no evidence of a struggle. No broken glass, no ropes hanging from the window, and absolutely no evidence that the guards had been bribed or overpowered. The man from Taured didn't escape. He simply ceased to be. How does a man simply vanish, leaving behind an impossible puzzle? The most chilling theory suggests he didn't vanish at all. He just went home. Some believe the man from Taured was an interdimensional traveler who accidentally stepped through a thin spot in reality. In his timeline, history played out differently, and the Kingdom of Taured sat right where we know Andorra to be. But 1954 was the height of the Cold War, leading others to a more grounded, yet equally sinister conclusion. He was a spy. In intelligence circles, a perfectly crafted fake identity is called a legend. Was his legend so incredibly deep, so highly classified, that it baffled local customs? And when the operation was compromised, did a shadowy extraction team pull him out, erasing all evidence he was ever there? However, the truth of the Taured mystery might be buried under decades of twisted storytelling. Many researchers point to a real man named John Zegrus. In 1960, Zegrus was arrested in Tokyo for traveling with a completely fabricated passport from a made-up country called Negus Habus. He was a con artist, pure and simple. Zegrus didn't vanish into thin air. He was sentenced to prison. But over the years, as the story of the fake passport was passed down through newspaper clippings and internet forums, the dates changed, the country changed, and a simple fraudster evolved into the interdimensional legend of Taured. So, what really happened in that locked room on the 6th floor? Was the man from Taured a traveler from another world who simply slipped back through the cracks of time? Or was he a victim of a distorted history, a myth born from a simple conman, exaggerated by decades of whispers? Whatever the truth, his story leaves us with an unsettling thought. Perhaps the chronology of our world isn't as solid as we think. The timeline is fragile, and the shadows are full of secrets. If you enjoyed unsealing this mystery, subscribe to Cryptic Chronology and join our timeline as we explore the unknown. Let us know in the comments, do you believe in parallel universes? Until next time, stay curious.